Hey everybody, if you don't want to spend an arm and a leg on a really good reel, I've got some great reels at budget prices. I'm going to go through the whole list.
Dude, that's a big bro.
Okay, if I had to choose out of the three things that I use with, that help me catch fish, primarily my rod, my reel, and my line, if there was one area that I wanted to go low budget on or lower budget, it would likely be the reel. Now I'm talking trout mostly or smaller bass, that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, like most people say, all the reel does is it holds the line. That said, there's a whole lot of reasons that I would probably bump up to another reel at some point. I'm going to go through those today. We're going to talk about what you can use these budget reels for. We're going to talk about durability of the reels, the drag, and overall price, and then maybe how I would go if I were to fish any of these very good but lower price reels. Okay, so we're going to start off with, I'm going to break these down into kind of three categories. We're going to talk about our all around, you just want this reel to do anything and everything. We're going to talk about what I would say are small stream reels or light line, light rod reels. And then we're going to talk about workhorse reels. And so that's going to cover the gamut from like the smallest bluegill or trout all the way up to some pretty heavy duty saltwater big game targets that you might chase. So also when I'm talking budget reels, here at Fly Fish Food, we tend to only stock the brands and the reels that we would ourselves or have and often do use. So if these reels don't fit your budget, and we're going at about $150 on down is our kind of price range. There are certainly reels that I'm not touching on that you could get at different places like maybe Walmart or like a big box like Cabela's or Shields or something. We don't carry a lot of the lower end stuff, but we do vet these budget reels because we want to make sure that if you don't have a ton or want to spend a ton of money, these are going to be great for you. So we're going to start off with kind of the all-arounders, and probably my favorite in this whole budget category has to be the Lamson Liquid. Now the Lamson, and in fact all of these reels are going to be either cast aluminum or they're going to be some sort of composite cast. These are not going to be fully bar stock aluminum machined reels. And most of these are going to be manufactured, or at least some level of manufacturing will happen overseas. Now, that does not make them inherently bad. What I would say when it comes to any of the budget reels, there's a couple of things you have to look out for. So number one is the weight. Because you're dealing with cast aluminum, some of these reels could be a little heavier and clunkier. I don't care about that a ton. But one thing to be mindful of is cast aluminum is inherently not as strong to knocking and dropping and clanking that a machined aluminum reel would be. So, and this is something I try to have people understand when they're going to go this route, is while they are great reels, and in fact, pretty much all these reels, with the exception of the bat and kill, which we'll get to in a minute, these are all great because they inherit a little bit better drag system than you would see in reels kind of in this price range. So because you're dealing with Lamson, because you're dealing with Redington or Orvis or Echo, they inherently are going to have good guts. So that's another thing that with these budget reels you don't have to worry about, is because they all have really good guts. So again, my favorite is going to be the Liquid. It's going to retail for under $150 depending on which model you get. The spools are also very inexpensive, also cast, so both pieces are cast. If you wanted to go up to a mid-range option, that would be the Lamson Remix, and these are both the S series. So the Remix is a machined aluminum frame with the cast aluminum reel spool. And so that is a good way to get a really durable frame, and then spools are going to be cheaper for you. So that's a really good option. We have a lot of people that go that route. So anyway, I'm a huge fan of the Lamson Liquid series. They just came out with the new ones this year, a little bit more machining, slightly larger arbor, and some cool color accents. Okay, so now moving down the line, another one of the workhorse reels that we have people looking at and buying day in, day out would be the Reddington Run. So the Reddington Run comes in, again, some kind of cool color splash accents. It's going to be, again, cast aluminum. However, this one as well is going to have a really killer internal drag system. So you may be paying less because of the material and the manufacturing processes, but you are not skimping on the drag, which is of high level of importance. Now, what does that mean? If you're fishing for trout, how often are you really going to get that fish on the drag? Maybe not super often, but the time you need it is, if you don't have it, you're going to be a little upset that you didn't have it. So that's why I like these reels, because they combine that really good drag with an inexpensive frame and or spool. Now, those are the workhorse ones. And I would also kind of put the Echo base into that. So it's a little less expensive. It's got really smooth reel action. So it doesn't have a clicker like the Remix or the Liquid have. So they're very quiet retrieves, but they're very well made. These are going to come in at under $100. The spools are even cheaper, of course. So again, this one's going to be a little heavier, but if you're not fishing super light stuff, you may not care about the weight. We're not Euro nipping, so we don't need to balance them. However, if you did want to balance a Euro reel or a rod, this reel in a 4 or 5 weight would be excellent for, say, a 2 or 3 weight Euro rod. So that's a good option there. In fact, any of these you could use with Euro nipping if you wanted. All right, so now we're talking small streams. And that's where probably my favorite small stream budget reel, and that's the venerable, this thing has been around for ages, Orvis Bat and Kill. This is the clicker, the Click and Paul. Great sound they make, so it can let the bears know you've got a fish on. But they're super simple. They are solid. Like, you'll talk to people that have had bat and kills. I have a buddy that has a bat and kills, had it for 30 years. Literally no issues. It is a Click and Paul, so there's no like fancy adjustable drag. But if you're fishing small streams, most of the time you're not going to need a crazy expensive drag system in place. These look nice. All the porting is very visually attractive. And then going along with that same need to have a small stream reel, I've got a couple of these, and this is the Reddington Zero. Also cast, also a clicker, but superb for like a 2 or a 3, even a 4 weight rod. I love both of these for small streams. They're just classic. They make some cool noises, and they come in some different color variations, which is really nice. And you don't have to pay an arm and a leg. So those are good options there. And now we'll take the final kind of category that I put these budget reels in, and these would be our heavy duty workhorse type reels. And so we'll start off with what I think is probably the best bang for the buck on the market in terms of that size of reel, and that's the Reddington Behemoth. Now, any of these, you can actually scale up. The Liquid goes all the way up to 7 plus, 9 plus, so you can use these all in the salt if you take care of them. The Behemoth is made, it's got a heavier drag. It's also got a better arbor, and as far as fitting a lot more line and backing on for bigger fish. So the Behemoth is a great option if you're going warm water, bigger game fish, saltwater type stuff. And then the final one in that subcategory would be the Echo Bravo. And again, superb drag, and you're not paying for a lot of bells and whistles. Again, it's cast, but it's a very well made reel, great for big game stuff, and it's going to be like the Behemoth. They're going to be usually under $150. So with that said, this would be the recommendation that we have. Lots of options if you don't want to spend a lot of money on that if you're just getting started, or maybe you're buying your small stream setup, or if you don't go saltwater fishing every year or multiple times a year. Any of these types of reels would be great for that. So save some money, check these out. We'll have the links in the description below. Give them a try. If you have any questions, drop a comment down below. Also, if there's any other budget-oriented style videos you want us to do, suggest them below. We're happy to do any and all type of content that people want. Anyway, check them out. Have a good one, and we'll see you on the next time.